Watch this, folks. I'm trying to decide what movie this was from. Bond. James Bond. Or was it Austin Powers? I don't know. I'm going to try it again. Bear with me here. Doesn't take much to amuse me. How you doing? What's my name? My name is Michael Landsblog. Where are you right now? You're either on SickNotWeak.com or on Facebook or on YouTube. You have found us. And if you're not familiar with what it is we do, and when I say we, this is a community effort that takes place here. This is not one person. This is no longer my thing. But what we do is we created a community for people who struggle with a mental health issue, whether it's depression or bipolar or anxiety or all of the above or anything else that I failed to mention. But it's also for the people who care for someone and love someone who experience that. It's a community that says to you, you're not alone, and there's help, and there's ways to find out what that help is. And also, I try to share things that I have experienced because I have 18 years with depression, and I probably have a lifetime with anxiety. When I was a kid, there were things that I feared that I didn't tell anyone because I thought, I can't tell anyone because I was too embarrassed. One of the things that you hear as a person that suffers from depression is a voice in your head. Now, I know that schizophrenia is an illness that you hear voices, where those voices can sometimes tell you to do things, or you create this fictitious world. But depression has a voice too, severe depression. And that's a voice that understands you because it's coming from inside your head. And it finds out all of your vulnerabilities, and then it plays against them. And one of the things that I hear all the time and read all the time are people that say, who are severely depressed, you know, if I killed myself, my family would be better off without me. Oh, sure, they would suffer a bit at the beginning, but in the long run, they would be better off. Now, as a healthy mind, when you hear that, it sounds absurd. How could your kids possibly be better because you're gone? How could they be better if they have to live the rest of their lives knowing that their parent took his or her life, and also potentially knowing that he took his or her life because they thought that their kids' lives would be better without them? I mean, it's so absurd. But you need to know that as a caregiver in particular, you need to know that we, people like me, sometimes hear those voices and that we are vulnerable to those voices. So telling us, oh, that's a bunch of crap, that's ridiculous, doesn't work. It's very complicated because when you're sick, they all make sense. Like for me, I never heard that because I know I'm such a great dad that my kids would never be better off without me. Right, Case? Say it loud.
Yep. Depends what's in your will, though.
Yeah. But, you know, on the other hand, I have heard voices that have said to me things like, you're no good as a performer, either on television or radio. I have heard a voice tell me that, you know, don't even bother. Don't even think about going on the air because you're terrible. You have nothing to say. I've been sitting, waiting to give a speech in my chair where I've actually texted Casey in particular because for some reason, I find it easy to share with her. And I have texted the words, I'm going to be terrible. I'm going to suck. And that's what depression does. It creates, I mean, potentially I could suck even when I'm healthy, but that's not the point. When I'm healthy, I believe that I'm going to be okay. That's what depression does. It talks to us, but it finds out where we're most vulnerable and then plays on it. And if you're sick and you're suffering, you need to know that that depression is talking to you and telling things because it hates you. And if you care for someone, you need to be prepared to hear that person. If you really want to find out what's going on in their head, tell you things that will seem bizarre to you. It's the voice in our head. And the only way to deal with that voice is to, first of all, treat the illness. And second of all, you can't shut the voice up at a given time, but you can try to insulate yourself from listening. So I may hear the voice, it's telling me you're going to be no good. And I say, well, I can't shut you up, voice. But what I can do is I can know that you're trying to deceive me and you're trying to lie to me. And therefore, I'm trying not to pay attention. It's pretty complicated, but you know what? It helps to talk. It helps to talk to you. And I think that you will probably find it helps to talk to us. SickNotWeak.com. We're here every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, although we have yet to prove that. We're, in our 6th week now? But we're going to be here all the time because we know if you're struggling, that there will be a time when you go, wow, I really need to find a place where people will understand me.